Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Fireside Creators. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Sherry Palace. I have missed you all so much. I have never gone this long without seeing you guys. I am so glad to be back. Tonight's show is to add some levity to our lives verging on a dystopian nightmare. But we've got an all-star panel of familiar friends and faces. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Please remember to keep all comments and questions related to the show topic and that this is a safe space. I appreciate you all. I am 2 days home from the hospital, so forgive my rustiness and forgive my stiffness and lack of energy. I'm fully in it. My head's fully going. Pain pills are kicking. So this could be even funnier than we think. We're going to do the show. Don't forget about my book. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, don't forget about my book. The info is needed now more than ever. The audiobook is almost done, and as I take it slow and heal, I will get the final edits done and get it out. The course is doing really great, and the speakers are phenomenal. So go ahead and check it out. We need more love, justice, and action to make this a more loving world, and I hope these courses do it for you. Okay. On with the show. Let's meet our guests and get some laughs on. Kimberly Ashlyn is a comic who's been shaking up the stage with her witty irreverence and feisty humor. Executive assistant by day and a comedic force at night. Born and raised a child of a Baptist preacher and married for 25 grueling years. She escaped to live the life that she wants. Welcome, Kimberly. How are you?
Hi, I'm as good as you can be, all things considered.
Right? We're going to laugh. Okay, so Bill has not signed on yet, but he is alphabetically next. Hopefully he will be able to jump on. Bill Cooper is 80 years old and has been married to Mary Ann for 32 years. Bill worked at the United States Post Office for 29 years, retiring 32 years ago. He moved to Savannah in 2000 and started acting on the local stage and SCAD student films 20 years ago. 10 years ago, he started doing stand-up comedy and had a local radio show for 4.5 years. For 2 years, he has had a Facebook comedy show and has sold watercolor paintings. Bill has 2 short stories published, and he will be here shortly. Hopefully, new platform, new problems. And Denise Winkleman is a comedian, former model, former wrestler, and an award-winning writer. Her debut comedy special, Bougie on a Budget, will be released later this year. She is sassy, silly, and a complete hussy, and why I fucking love her. Welcome, Denise.
Hello. Thanks for having me, Sherry.
I'm so glad you're here. So I was talking about, let's fix these. We were talking before stage, and I was, talking about being in the hospital for 5 days. What did you say, Denise?
I said I spent less days in the hospital when I got my dick cut off.
So this is where we start the show. Before the show, I've been raging today. I'm finally feeling a little bit better. And reality is starting to hit. So I've been raging on social media, a lot of fuck offs, fuck yous, all of those things, because I'm angry. You're one of the people that I'm angry for. And yet you said to me, do not worry about me. You were a wrestler, and I said arm in arm, and we're going to do this.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'll be okay.
Well, you are technically bigger than me, and I'm pretty fucking big. So I don't know why I thought I could protect you anyway. That's my own ego playing.
Well, at the end of the day, like if we were in a fight, just so you know, I would definitely hide behind you just because I'm a wuss.
That's hilarious. Okay. That's our plan then. So how do we get through this dystopian nightmare? How do we get through this hatred? How do we laugh through it all? Any ideas?
I mean, I think we just play it day by day, and we just buy a voodoo doll and just hope that we can punish that orange man enough to retire.
Oh God. So
But
last
even if
night,
he does, we have JD Vance. I mean, it's just
yeah,
it.
it's a line of shit.
Is it frying pan to the fire? Yeah, it's.
I am, yeah, I'm by no means excited about anything. I feel like I've woken up in a horror movie, like the trans version of uh, Jordan Peele's movie. I'm blanking on it right now, but like the
Oh,
Get Out,
Get Out?
Yeah, Get Out.
movie,
Yeah.
Get Out, the trans version. But
I could see him make that.
Yes.
You should actually shoot him a line.
all of a sudden Chappelle shows up. It's a different kind of movie, but
Right. So I avoided like the plague the inauguration and everything last night. So, but I did turn on the 6:30 evening news, ABC News, and he was still talking. And when my girlfriend Jessica was over here, she's been taking care of me and my dogs and is just such a complete blessing. But he started saying that he respected Scarface and that he was such a great guy. And I'm like, Jess, he thinks Scarface is real. He thinks Scarface is real.
And it's like, okay, even if he was, this was the great guy?
Right.
Using a chainsaw to take off someone's ear in a bathtub? I mean,
horse heads. Yeah. And then he starts talking about they're sending him from the mental asylums because he's too dumb to realize that seeking asylum as a migrant is not the same as a mental institution asylum. I mean, how can we not laugh at the idiocy that we're seeing here? How can we not laugh at truly the dystopian reality that we're in? I mean, using Scarface as a point of honor in an inauguration speech. Oh, the other one was he lowered his head and went, "Did you like my speech?" The most powerful man in the world, insecure about his speechwriters and what he said. And boy, was he mad at Biden doing the pardons during his speech. And that just thrilled me. I'm trying to find the little things that I can laugh at, because if not, the enormity of the situation will just be completely overwhelming. Completely.
no,
and it's not funny, but did you see the video of they had sort of church ceremony? I don't know exactly what it was, where that bishop was flat out calling him out in the front row. I'm just like, yes.
But you know what was so disappointing to me was Tiffany. Tiffany and Melania have been the quiet ones to be like, oh, they're really not as bad as him. Tiffany was looking around like, I will set them on fire myself. It was so disgusting to me. And then when she was done and everybody looked around, it really showed their cowardice. It really showed their lack of a spine, lack of integrity. And obviously they felt it, and good, because they should.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised Caitlyn Jenner didn't make an appearance.
Right.
Oh,
one of my friends said today, I'm waiting for her to really step up, and I just laughed, like, really?
in my new hour, I'm starting to do a lot of Caitlyn material, and
good.
I would never sell my community out for airtime on Fox News, ESPN maybe, but not Fox News.
All priorities.
I'm just now loading the chat. So I'm seeing the comments. Hello, everyone. So glad to be back. Hope you can't tell how stiff I am. But okay, so one of the things I really wanted to stress was that you guys, the comedians, are the ones that have gotten us through the pains of reality literally since the dawn of man. Right? It's biblical. It's the court jester. It's keeping our insanity. And now that's why I think this show is so important, to really have you guys work your magic. Again, I told you I wouldn't put you like, come on, dance for me, but to be able to see the levity in the situation, to be able to get through with some laughter, because even when I'm crying at my worst, I will crack a joke. I will find a reason to laugh even at the worst. And today's been really hard to do that. Some friend of mine was teasing me. Oh, it's like, I'm like, you know what? It's not even funny right now. Your jokes are not funny about this situation. I will do a show on that tonight, and then we will laugh at it. But he was not allowed to earlier. Until then, shut the fuck up.
Well, I think you're right, Sherry. It's like we gotta try to look on the bright side, right? And not just look on the bright side, but make light of some of the nonsense. I try to remind myself it could be worse. It doesn't feel like it, but it could be, and hopefully it doesn't get worse. But we hope for the best, but you gotta make light of whatever you can, and just hope not to cry.
Well, I think what a lot of people are hoping for is, he shoots off his big mouth, but he's not big on follow through for anything.
Right.
Like, come on, Mexico did not build a wall. And these things did not happen. And so hoping that, it's just all his mouth running, but he signed like 200 things or something. I refuse to look at the list. I can't even look.
I didn't know he could even sign his name.
It looks like a concentration camp fence, so it works for him. He designated 2 genders. Everything else no longer exists. He fired a colonel who is LGBT from the Coast Guard. He one thing that he can't do that he initiated to do was a constitutional amendment, which is overturning the birthright citizenship. Because it's constitutionally enacted, he can't do that with an executive order. It would take 2/3 of the House, Senate, and the states in order to do so. But this man literally didn't put his hand on the Bible during his oath, but swore an oath to our Constitution, and then immediately went and signed an executive order silencing it. So as long as he has power within the GOP, and as long as he has the power of the House, Congress, and Supreme Court behind him, I'm not sure what our Constitution is going to stand for anymore. I mean, everybody keeps saying 4 years, and I don't see that. I don't see that this is going to end in 4 years. His last 4 years, he said he was never going to leave, and that's Bill. I just heard Bill hop on. Hold on. Oh, wait. I like they're still burning. Okay.
I'm starting to believe Bill isn't real.
What did you say, Denise?
I'm starting to believe Bill isn't real. Yeah, I'm being teased that Bill is going to pop in. And
right. He's my boyfriend in Canada.
You got one in every country, right?
Yes.
Yes, she does.
This is why Trump wants to build the wall.
Right. Yeah, so we can't leave. So both of you boss bitches are out there really pushing the envelope too. I mean, Denise, you're full out, I'm a hussy, take me. I was at your filmings, which I am so honored to be, and I can't wait till your show hits. Do you feel in any way like you should tamp it down? I was mansplained today a little bit to do so, which again, I went. But are either one of you worried about what to say?
I can answer for myself. No, I'm not. And I transitioned over 10 years ago. I'm not. I live in North Hollywood. I mean, the worst of the Hollywoods, but it's fine. But I live in North Hollywood, and I feel protected in that sense, or sheltered from a lot of that. When I go to clubs, you get a mix of all. But if even me talking about being trans and being funny and just making light of it, people support that, even if they're Republican. I tend to get like a lot of straight dudes that really like my comedy and stuff, which is surprising because I rip on them a ton.
Oh, you're fun.
But I think location matters. And the thing that worries me is I started a transition when I was in Kentucky. And even back then, the worry of being beaten up. I had a friend that was raped by a straight guy as she was transitioning. And there's real danger in some of those conservative areas. And that's what worries me. I'm worried for those folks much more than I am for myself.
Yeah, location matters. I know. I'm in in 2016, when everything went down, I was in my little Twin Cities bubble, because Minnesota always was blue, but it's only because of the little Twin Cities bubble. And in 2016 was when I had my big wake up call when they showed. I'm like, oh, I'm in a red state. I just hang in the cities. I really had no idea I'm in a red state. And I've had a number of shows where I've gone, we call it outside the 694, 494 perimeter. It's like, yeah, if you go outside of there, it's red. And I've had, bookers even say to me as I'm walking onto a show, hey, little FYI, it's a red room. And it pisses me off, because I know there's nobody out there saying it's a blue room.
Oh, wow. Good point.
And watch your mouth.
Yeah.
And I don't have.
And then also it's going to trip you up too, right? You're trying to pump yourself up to do everything, and all of a sudden it's watch out, watch what you say.
Yeah, and I don't have a ton of political humor. I've tried to do political stuff. I've tried to do stuff from my evangelical upbringing, and it ends up coming off just so angry. People end up feeling like, when I talk about my childhood, people just feel sorry for me. And I'm like, that. But if they had a childhood like mine, they're dying laughing. So I can split the room. I can see who did what, depending on what I'm saying. But, a lot of just the audacity of being a 55-year-old woman on stage.
Right.
That alone, there's a lot of people, men, who, are already like, she's not going to be fucking funny. Women aren't funny. I could do that.
Laugh.
So I grew up in Minnesota too, just so you know. But my parents were one of the evangelicals in the red, so that's how I was raised. But
we're in Minnesota.
North Central. I went to college in Bemidji, and then that's where my undergrad was. And my dad lives up by I Falls, International Falls, and which is. He keeps trying to get me to go visit, and I'm like, well, I'm not. Nobody has hassled me in 20 years, but it's like I know people up there, and all it takes is one, and I'm more worried about the one person who might recognize me from high school or something, and you just don't know how they're going to react, especially now.
Especially now, where it feels like it's free reign. Where before people would, stuff down their racism, or, stuff down their homophobia, stuff down their transphobia. Now, I saw comments out there just today, and I'm like, this is horrible. I don't even want to quote him.
This guy I knew back in my hussy days. I'm going to go ahead and say it because I really wanted to say it the other day, and I didn't. But he was truly one of the worst lays of my life. And he had been for the last couple of years defending Trump. I'm not a Trumpster, but 2025 is bullshit. We need to do this. And then he came on the other day and said, finally, 2025 is in action. And it took everything in my power to not put on Facebook, dude, you were the worst lay of my life, and I think you're fucking scum. But I wanted that out there just because he is definitely one of those white men who keeps perpetuating this.
Mm-hmm. If you'd like to give me his name, I would love to go troll him.
Okay. Well, after the show, though, because this is on forever. I don't want to and he doesn't deserve his name to be voiced either.
Oh, no. No, just give it to me on the side. I get a lot of joy in being a troll. My son has told me to stop, but
I turned it back on me, and it was like, why have I allowed these people in my orbit? Why have I called these people friends? Why have I valued them to know that they are full of so much hate, bigotry, ignorance, and all of this stuff? I valued them as friends. So today, it was literally about, you know what? The only way I'm going to clear my conscience for abetting them, or abetting them rather, and, keeping them in my life because they do good things occasionally. No, No, we are late 30s, early 40s Germany. And I no longer care about bridging or trying to teach them the right way because it is pure ignorance at this point. So the only thing I can do is laugh at them. The only thing I can do is go, do you know how fucking stupid you are? And with my mentor, my beautiful mentor, Michelle, she was coaching me all day going, okay, let's do this. Let's do that. And I said, I'm on there. I'm not as far gone as you think I am, or I may seem right now, but cuffs are off. Things are off. I'm no longer going to pity, have grace for people who are bigots.
No, none.
Someone sent me a video today, and I started yelling about 3 minutes in, going, why am I watching this? It was of Jimmy Swaggart's son. Now, for a reminder of Jimmy Swaggart was the televangelist who went on TV because he got busted having sex with a prostitute and went on and cried real dinosaur tears. I'm so sorry, and doomed everybody else to hell, went after Clinton. I mean, patriarchal, hypocritical bullshit, the foundation of why we are here now. His son has taken his lead. And his sermon on Sunday was, they're going to call me a racist because I think the black church should shut the fuck up. Of course, I'm paraphrasing.
Oh,
they're going to call me a bigot because I think LGBTQ is disgusting. And the dichotomy between good and evil and the gray that is melding in between, to where they think that humanity and that being who you are as authentic as a person, whether that be LGBTQ, people of color, whatever, is not in the mainstream, calling them out as holy. That's when I go, wow, my whole existence now is trying to shut down that religious bigotry. And when he's saying they're going to call me a racist. Yes, rightfully so. They're going to call me a bigot. Yes, rightfully so. And all I could think was of his pathetic, soft, spineless, grotesque father. And what kept ringing in my head was, sins of the father do visit down. Biblically speaking, sins of the father, and he's doing the exact same thing, perpetuating that hate. And if I got to go back to my East Side San Jose days in high school and be like, fuck this shit, it's all I can do. But again, I got to laugh while I'm doing it.
Yes. Well, what are the odds that we find him on Grindr?
I was about to say,
he's definitely got at least one or two burner Grindr accounts.
Whenever they go really hard, they're going hard somewhere else.
Well, and that was the first thought, is like, you got heels in your closet, don't you? And then I thought, well, no, because that's degrading to the LGBT, but don't become that which you hate. Thou doth protest too much.
Yeah.
I don't understand the hate and the rage and the insecurity if indeed they aren't fighting their own demons. Keep your demons to yourself, assholes. I don't want them.
My favorite thing, so when I go on, when I used to first started, when I started talking about being trans on stage, it took me a couple years to do it. I used to pick the straightest dude I could find and be like, I'll help you set a Grindr account up. I'll make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, just love yourself. I mean, this show has really, thoroughly taught me that every single person on this planet is really just looking to be accepted. Yeah. Society makes it harder on the marginalized. It makes it harder on everybody who isn't a white cis Christian male. But every single one of us is really just trying to be accepted and loved. And then to say, well, no, God doesn't want that or anything like that. I mean, own yourself. I am thankful that these people are coming out and going, yeah, I'm with Trump. Fuck this. And then I can go, great. Now you're gone. Yeah. There's no more. I spent 6 years with a guy that I wondered every single day if he was a good guy or a bad guy. And I don't ever want to wonder that again. So Trump really clears the glass and goes, no, this is who these people are. And these are who you should stay away from.
That's the one thing I will give him credit for, was opening my eyes.
It's hard though, right?
I mean, it was, I remember the 2016 election like it was yesterday, and what I went through that night, and it opened my eyes. It was the biggest bitch slap ever.
And that's the thing, is I really looked up to a lot of these people. You know, I mean, I had a ton of Republicans betting me money in 2008. And one guy even bet me $1,500 that Obama was going to lose.
Ooh.
And so Obama wins. I'm in the money. It was like $2,500 that I win. They all blocked me. They never talked to me again. I saw them out. They would go, fuck Obama, and run the other way.
Oh, God.
I mean, just petulant. And they're all men. I mean, at least the women would go, come on, Sherry, just keep it down. But the men would get in my face and go, fuck Obama, and start saying racist shit. And I stayed at that party. And that makes me so fucking sick now that I even associated with those people and gave them the grace to say, okay, well, they just don't know yet. They just don't know. It makes me sick. It truly makes me sick.
And today, you know, to your point of, you know, there's no excuse now. There's none. If you can still stand behind that, you are a horrible person. That's who you are.
I don't want to know you.
And I don't know if you see my post, but I do it constantly. I'll be like, if you're a Christian and voted for Trump, you're a piece of shit. You realize that, right? That's who you are.
Today I said a piece of rotting
shit. You are vomit in Jesus' mouth. You're vomit.
Yeah. Today I said a rotting piece of shit. So I added just a little bit of creativity to it. Let it be.
Add a little flavor to it, you know.
I needed that oomph. I needed that to go. No, let me make this really clear. And if I haven't been already, I mean, people go, gee, Sherry, tell me how you really feel. But you know what? The patriarchy and assholes silenced me my whole life. I shouldn't be speaking now because I'm a woman. The three of us boss bitches on here shouldn't have a voice. It's time to turn it up. It's time to turn it up. Again, once I can move.
Yeah.
Once
And I'm at that level. I don't care what happens. I've had friends say because I've lost friends recently.
But were they friends?
I thought they were.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with.
I thought they were, and I'm like, I will not agree to disagree on this ever, ever, ever. Because in my, I don't know if I even believe in a soul. I was about to say in my soul, but for me as a human being, I can't be silent either. Because I've been told everybody knows how you feel, Kimberly. You know, just shut the fuck up. Everybody knows. Stop posting about it. Stop talking about it. I'm like, no, I won't.
No. I told my mentor I told somebody today, a lot of people were trying to calm me down, that I have a little over 35,000 followers right now. And Jesus had less than 12. So 35,000 can fuck off and I can still have that 12. I know the people that are now with me that I can truly rely on. I mean, these people that I thought were friends, these Trump supporters, ghosted me anyway whenever I needed them, totally turned their back on me when I needed them. I got cancer, never heard from them again. So they showed me who they were back then. Yeah. I just didn't see it. I didn't want to see it. The pain was too great. I thought they were good people. And now part of the disgust is not only in my naivety in thinking that they were, but also that how much they aren't, you know, like I really did value them. And to my own heartbreak, it is.
It's tough, right? Because day job, I work in a conservative industry. Like I know I have a ton of coworkers. I work with a ton of clients that are conservative and, you know, are more happy than sad right now. I try to be nice to them because I have to continue to be able to live in North Hollywood,
right?
Without selling my spleen, which is on the table if anybody wants to buy it.
Me too.
We'll see how the special does, but I could be talked out of the spleen, maybe the liver. Those are the only organs I can think of.
Right.
I'm keeping the kidneys. But no, at the end of the day, I try to understand both sides, right? And my parents are, you know, conservative. My family is. And I had a friend who has always knew me as soon as I transitioned, has been a staunch supporter of myself. and she has a gay brother, and she was always liberal, and then she started going towards Trump, and now she's all about Trump. And I can't listen to her political stuff, but I'm like, I don't know if I can give you up because we have history. It's one thing to have followers that are Trump supporters, like it's another thing to have friends, and there's a difference for me between people I'd spend time with and people, I try to take both, and people I lean on for support, right? And
you said it's so big of you, though. That is, I mean,
I was about to say you're a better person than me, and I've always said that because I can't.
How do you okay, so I'm in a similar situation with my little sister, right? I'm part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program of LA. And I posted about this today. Her father is a 3-time offender, illegal border crosser. He was caught committing petty crimes just to survive. He just wanted to be with his baby girl, my little sister. He is permanently banned from the States because he's a criminal, and because her mother is a drug addict. Trump is going to hit her first. Mm-hmm. The thought, and I said this to her before the election when she was telling me that her whole family was going to vote for Trump. And I said to her, you're going to see a side of me that you never want to see if he messes with you. And what you just said is what I'm feeling with my little sister. I mean, there's a huge part of me that goes, no, just run, get out of this country. The other part of me says, no, love would stay and fight. Love would stay and fight for the people that you truly love. But how, as your friend, how do you reconcile continuing that friendship when it's literally against you, your humanity, your best interest? Tell me, because I'm dying to know.
Because I don't think most of the people like in that circle have any interest in the trans issue at all. They are, and they're more on my side, and they support me. The reason a lot of those folks voted for Trump was, because they felt the sting economically, and
eggs,
and that's what they put the focus on. I disagree with that. I disagree with voting for him for economics and voting for him in general. But I try to listen to their side of the story, and we don't have to agree politically. The people that want to do away with trans and give into the hype and do all that stuff, it's like, fuck them. I don't want anything to do with them. Like, and I also feel like life would have been a lot better if I would have just kept my old dick and sent it to Trump so he could have it.
I would have. Oh my God, I would worship you for that. I'm going to push you a little bit harder.
Okay.
But don't you, again, because this has really been bothering me today about the people I had in my life for so long. I mean, we went on trips together. I considered them my best friends. And to see what bigots they are now, it just grosses me out and it makes me really angry at myself. So how do you separate that? How do you look at your friend and go, you could have doomed me. I could be sent to a camp right now, but you cared more about a fucking egg than me. Again, teach me. I'm looking for some light in this situation to try and see these people as anything other than fucking monsters.
So I try to listen to their side of it. That's the thing is if we have that conversation, if it's just on social media and seeing what they post, like, yeah, I've thought about unfollowing this girl on social media because it's nonsense.
Right.
But I also know that we were drunk in Napa, and she fought a homeless guy because he was mean to me, and she's gone out of her way to protect me and been on my side. And there are different categories of friends, and sometimes that changes over time. I'm very self-sufficient. Like when I went through all the operations and stuff like that, I would have preferred to do that alone and not be dependent on other people.
Right. I feel you.
And I had a lot of people in my life, fortunately, that wanted to take care of me. One guy offered to come over and read me stories. He was like, please don't do that. That's creepy. But but to hear, very and think of my family's poor, northern Minnesota, that area, Kentucky, where I lived. It's a poor area where they struggle to survive or struggle to, pay their bills and things like that. So to hear their concerns about pricing, and some of it's just nonsense, but the ability to feed their family and real concerns around that, I try not to discount that, and I try to understand where they're coming from, but I also try to explain, who I am and the journey it took to get me there and the danger it puts me in. So if I just immediately cut them out, they're like, well, that trans bitch, kind of thing. And there are people who deserve that and people who don't. I try not to risk. Yeah.
I would, my aunt and uncle, my aunt is the reason I'm still here. She got me through the cancer, through, she paid for my degree. Full on Trumpsters, full on admit it. We don't talk about it. Her husband does not allow me in the house. Fine. I would never kick them to the curb. No, I couldn't. I love them more than I love myself. But right. I mean, people who over the last couple years have shown me that they're not really friends aside from the Trump thing. Mm-hmm. Coupled with the Trump thing is where I go, fuck off. Yeah. Before it was, oh, I thought they were my friends, bad on me. I shouldn't have trusted them so much. But now it's more like, okay, you have enclosed yourself in a glass asshole in a bubble that I don't want to touch. So I totally feel and understand you that some of them, it's like, okay, I get your reasons. I disagree with them. But you as a trans woman able to do that, my heart's out to you, girlfriend. I mean, that is something I'm really trying to get through today, to not let my hate become everything. And there are years ago, I wrote a piece. It's 2016, actually. That the title, it's on Medium now. It's one of my first articles that I had written, and it was the biggest one for a while. It was, I live with a Trump supporter and I love him. And it took me like 8 hours to write that thing. And I cried all day long. But one of the things that I couldn't reconcile was this man would stand in my living room and scream the most hateful, bigoted bullshit stuff. But if someone needed him, he was right there. The first time I took my boat out, someone had gotten stranded on the island in Florida, and he ran over and he made sure he did everything he could to help those complete strangers so that family would not be stuck on an island all night long with no help. And that is one of the things that I'm still trying to reconcile with. That is, how can someone be so hateful, so insecure, so bigoted, and also do such good things? A Trump supporter that I used to date totally saved my ass back in Florida and fixed my car for me. Yeah. Tried to make me wear a MAGA hat on the way home. Oh my God. We were close enough that I could punch him and go, don't pull this shit. And laugh at me, and stuff like that. So it's really hard today to reconcile the love I've had for these people, the value that I've had for these people, and then see these actions. Like I said, it leaves me feeling like a fool. Like I never should have loved them to begin with.
I saw something said years ago to this end of, how can they be good to some people and not? It's like Hitler was nice to some people.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not be Republican, be conservative. I'll agree to disagree on fiscal spending. I'll agree on the military. But if you can look at that vile, evil piece of shit, I don't even consider Trump a human anymore. That's how far my hatred is. He's not even a human being for me anymore.
Yeah, and I despise Trump. I hate everything he's about, and would never ever vote for him, or never, I have no.
Sorry.
I've had these conversations. It'll drive by my place in a second. Yeah. We're right next door to each other. But literally. But I don't like Trump at all, but I try to understand why somebody may vote for him. I think it's ridiculous for Christians to vote for him. I think, all of that, because he encompasses nothing of what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
But again, when I transitioned in 2013 was when I fully transitioned. I moved across country. I gave away, like a lot of friends when I transitioned. I found out who my friends were.
Yeah.
And the people I've kept in my life. There's one thing to be, like brunch social, like where I'll drink a mimosa with you. There's another thing to plan a trip and spend time. And the people I do that with, it's a small group. And I'm at the point now where it's like, I don't want to give them up. Unless we just can't, unless they want me killed or something, and they don't. So I just try to understand, and it doesn't hurt to be kind to each other.
Right. Right.
You are a way better person than me. I'm like, fuck you.
Well, and I'm also from Minnesota, so I'm very nice to their face, and then I rip the shit out of them.
And I'm originally from Texas, so I'm a loud ass bitch, but I can't go back there. They'd string me up tomorrow.
Yeah. And one thing I want to make really clear is just like a side note, 5 days in the hospital in California really enlightened me that my cursing is truly a California dialect. Every nurse, every doctor cursed in my room. I could not believe it. So it was like, it is California. So my fuck off, fuck you, all of this stuff, it's just the California girl in me.
I like that.
I couldn't believe it. They were like, you're going through some shit, huh? This is fucked up. Couldn't believe it. Side note. One of the things that has been really clear to me in the last couple of days that I never considered my entire life. Since I was a child, especially growing up in the evangelical world, and hating Russia for their communism and anything.
Oh, I was so scared of the Russians.
Right?
Oh.
And quicksand. But, but it was like, we always said, why didn't they do anything? Why didn't they stop this? And not until yesterday did I ever even fathom that there were people, there were us. There were so, it wasn't just Bonhoeffer, who has the movie coming out that's even twisted. It wasn't just one guy. It was a whole committee. It was a whole society, because he only lasted 8 years. Hitler. Menudo has gone on longer than Hitler did, or the Civil War, or anything like that. So I really want to make sure that we do things differently this time. So people don't ask, why didn't they speak up? So people don't, let us learn from the historical silence that was placed on them. Because I'm sure they were silenced. I have no doubt in my mind at this point that they were silenced. But they had to have said something more than World War II, more than the U.S. coming and destroying them and winning the war. People had to have stood up against him at some point to only make it last 8 years. I hope that comes out now. And I hope that we are not silenced again as the dissenters, that our voices are heard. And even if it's, oh my God, she was the biggest pain in the ass ever, I will wear that like a crown, because that's what I'm here for. At least that's what I believe.
I'm assuming they've already seen my Facebook feed, and I'm going to be in a camp. I'm going to need to fight in the yard for a hot meal.
You and me both, sister. That's why I was like, you know what? I think I'm getting, they call it shadow ban. I mean, I get, just a fact, people, I'm not bragging in any way. It's really kind of fucking annoying, but I get about 200 notifications a day. I think I've had a dozen today. So it was like, okay, am I going crazy here, or is Zuckerberg silencing me? Everything I'm saying is going to fit into their algorithms. So then it was like, no one's even going to see this post if he's shadow banning me. So then I used his @ to make sure everybody saw it. Like, I'm going to use this. But man, I went on this hashtag, Ray, fuck Zuck, fascists have tiny dicks, feminist fascists are fat hags. And then closed it with, fact check me, motherfucker. I mean, if you're going to silence me, at least own it. At least don't do it like, Sherry, you're booted off of Facebook because you said fuck Zuck, and and the other one was fascists need to pay for ass. That was my favorite. Because they're all rich, I know I'm all this wealth because you got to buy ass, stupid. I'm on a lot of pain pills right now, so I have no filter. So this could be like.
On a side note, do you think if we all go to camps, like it'll be like Hogan's Heroes, like
doing each other's nails and toes,
have a manicurist and
diet program,
we're all like anorexic thin, perfect for the award season.
Exactly. We'll end up on Vogue.
The Oscars coming to you from this camp.
Oh, I feel demented laughing at this, but I have to.
I'm going to get canceled on both sides.
Right. I mean, it goes back to, for the last 12 years, it's all been about be a good girl, Sherry. You need to build your platform, do what you need to do, but don't ruffle too many skins,
Don't alienate anybody.
Yeah. And someone at the Wild Goose last year said, why are you talking to people who don't want to talk to you? And that hit me really hard. It was like, okay, again, I'm not going to be a capitalist with my book. It's about to get the information out there. And if you don't want to listen to me, if you don't want the facts, if you don't want to stop your hate, then fuck off. So it's kind of freeing today to be like no longer worried about my platform, to no longer worry about, oh my God, am I going to step on someone's toes? Because I think the toes that I'm stepping on need to be crushed.
Yes.
So it gives me some power almost to go, you can do this. You can be strong enough to do this. Your life as the really screwed up teenager who was always wanting to fight and talk shit and, was fighting boys in high school. I can use that for good now. I can use that to say, I'm not going to allow you to abuse people and hurt people, even if I don't love them, even if they're MAGA, like my little sister. Being able to not just run away from her and say, you brought this on yourself, is the love that I'm trying to garner and really build up. Because if I become what they are, then I have lost everything.
Yeah. Try to rise above. And I love that you have that attitude. It's like, we're going to roast the shit out of them for the next 4 years. But no, it sucks at the end of the day, but you try to get through. And I try to tell myself, as of now, we've had worse times in the world and we don't know where it's going to go, but trying to have optimism. Otherwise, me personally, like I would just crawl in a hole and just not talk to anybody. And I don't want to be that person. One of my mentors actually told me Sunday, writing this new hour and working it out and getting ready for the stuff that's coming. He was like, the next 4 years are going to be so important for you to be out in front of people and to be who you are, because not only are people people like us are going to need a break and need to laugh and need encouragement, but they also need to see you standing on that stage and speaking your truth.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the
things I responded by farting.
Blow it out your ass.
Yes.
One of the things that kind of calmed me down today, again, Michelle has been just my mentor. I'm so fortunate to have her. And she reminded me that I should sit down for a minute and shut the fuck up and just like meditate for a second. I need those reminders when I get all act up and angry. And the one thing I thought was, okay, barring my physical condition right now, of course, I'm strong enough to speak up if they aren't. I am strong enough. I've been through these fires. I am not in any way saying that I understand the LGBTQ community and the bullshit that they have to endure, or the people of color, but I can speak up when they can't. And Constantly. I receive emails thanking me for that, saying, you know, I can't say anything because of the situation I am. Thank you for doing so, which totally propels me to go, yes, I'm on the right path. So I honor people who can't speak up right now. I honor people and respect them if they're too scared to, or simply can't because they need to eat, because they need to live, because they need to be in their state or city or whatever they handle. I'm going to step up for that. And I'm going to be that person. Try to be, if I'm wanted, if I'm welcomed, to help the people who didn't have a voice, because I didn't have a voice for so long. Like I said, I stayed at those parties. Those people were saying horrific things, racist shit. And I stayed there. I called them my friends. So I don't ever want to do that again. I want to be able to stand in my integrity and stand up for them, as opposed to letting anyone silence me and let them think it's okay, because it's not okay. None of this is okay.
I so feel that. I've felt for a while, even beyond the political realm, where if you have a courageous voice and you're able to, because I understand that some people just can't.
Right.
I do feel you have, you know, whether you're talking about religion or traumatic things that have happened to you, or what's happening politically, what's happening in the world. I feel if you have if you have that ability, you have a responsibility too.
Yeah.
And that's why I won't shut up.
Right.
Even though I've been asked to.
Daily.
Oh, from caring friends, they're like, we just feel that you get all revved up. And
right. Same.
And you know, you would have a calmer existence. I'm like, have you met me? This is did I mention I'm actually a yoga teacher on the side? Can you imagine this without yoga and meditation?
Right.
This is me fucking calm.
Right.
But I do feel personally a strong responsibility to speak.
Yeah.
Just because and I get messages from people, as you just said, of like, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, I can't. And maybe the reason is fear. And I acknowledge that. And that's,
you know, I'm a firm believer in you do you, boo. Mm-hmm. You know, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. And I used to say that to my evangelical mom, and she'd go, "Oh, you're such a flaming liberal." Don't hurt anyone makes me a liberal. Crazy times.
Because fuck the Beatitudes, fuck the Sermon on the Mount.
Right?
That was libtard nonsense.
Right.
What else is going to happen? Are we going to give away blue ribbons to everybody and juice boxes? Cookie. I would like a cookie, please, and a juice box.
I'm not going. I have a very close priest friend, and he said today, "I can't, Sherry. I'll lose my entire congregation." Mm-hmm. And my response was, "I respect you, I honor you, but fuck them." Again, paraphrasing. I think that a lot of people need our voices to encourage them, to give them theirs.
Yes.
But I also believe that no one should be pushed, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think abuse is making someone do anything that they don't want to do. And if I ask for everyone to be loud like me and to have as much fervor and as much excitement and passion as I do, then I'm going to just be judging them as inferior anyway when I'm trying to help them. It's like a backhanded compliment almost. So but if you can, do. If you can't, then welcome us to do it. You know,
yes, don't silence me. If you don't want to, and you can't, or you don't want to, you just don't want to, for your mental health, for whatever
reason.
Doesn't matter what the reason is, but don't silence me.
Right.
No, I agree 100%. I always believe that if you're given a platform, or, you know, it's like, what are you going to say? What are you going to use it for? And whether that's having a mic in your hand, doing stand-up dick jokes, is that all you're going to say? Or are you going to talk about something important as well? Because we're only given one little shot, and we should be able to say what we need to say.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you can't fight the fight, then just find people who will. I won't fight for evil. I won't fight for bigotry. I will not fight for anyone who says that my fellow human is not a human, that migrants aren't worthy. Again, like you said, Kimberly, there is no wavering on agree to disagree. We can totally disagree about school taxes and roads and lights, all of the things that used to be political.
Right. That used to be conservative or
when human rights or respect or anything like that gets in, that's when I go, no. So I am honored to be a voice because I didn't have mine for so long. And now I feel like I do. I have that strength. So I want to use it. I feel like I earned it. I feel like there's so much growth to get me here. I mean, in my 20s and 30s, if someone would look at me sideways and I'd be like, don't. Now it's like, bring it on, motherfucker. Let's go. So there's a lot of growth and coming into my own and doing this. So I look at it as not, I'm just going to step on people's toes and shut them up. I'm going to fight for the people who can't. And that's how I'm going to get through this, again, with you boss bitches who are hysterical and keep me laughing along the way.
I'll take my earrings off for,
Yeah, the hospital took all my jewelry off, so I still don't have anything. But yeah. Okay, beautiful bitches. We are at the top of the hour. Bill never came on. He said that he was having problems getting things working. But you know what? Things happen for a reason. And maybe the three of us were just supposed to talk tonight.
I still don't believe he's real. He's not real.
Oh, right.
My Canadian boyfriend, Bill, he's married, by the way. So, but yes, he will now forever be known as my Canadian boyfriend, Bill. I love it. Okay. Any final words and where can people find you? You go first, Kimberly.
Keep going. Fight the good fight. You can find me on Instagram, Kimberly Ashland Comedy.
Fantastic. And thank you so much for your voice and your power. I love you for it.
Thank you.
Denise, any final words and where can people find you?
Let's just roll over and lay down. And no, I'm kidding, guys.
I need a nap.
Yes, I love naps, but no, I found out today to bring some good news into this that I agreed in principle on a distribution deal for Miss
Fuck yeah!
Awesome.
Yes.
And I'm so excited. And so it looks like it's going to premiere within 3 to 4 months. All my socials are Denise Winkleman Comedy. Go to my website, denisewinklemancomedy.com. You can catch up with tour dates. You can buy some merch so I don't have to harvest a titty.
Or spleen.
Yeah, or spleen. The spleen is already gone. It's already spoken for. So, but you can sign up for my mailing list and join Team Hussy. That's what it's called. That's
yes.
I am so full of pride for you. I am so happy for you. Way to go. Yes.
Thank you. So pumped. But thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
I can't do it. I would totally be doing a happy dance and like running next door to give you a high five, but we'll say that. Okay.
Yes. We'll virtually high five.
There you go. Yeah, there we go. Hey. I love you both so much. I'm going to go ahead and close the show. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, I don't even know how to do this right now. I'm so out of practice. Okay. So you guys are just going to stay on with me. How about that? Because I don't know what I'm doing.
All right.
Anyway, and my teleprompter is working. Again, I'm on drugs. I feel that I'm on drugs. But next week's show is a makeup for the last 2 shows that I missed. One because of the LA fires, and the other because I was in the hospital last week. But thank you so much for this show. I needed these laughs and I needed these women in my life today. So once I reschedule the next 2 shows, then I will be able to let you guys know. And we're booked all the way through March. So stay tuned. We are back. Thank you for watching and joining the conversation. I love you all. And I know it's hard. I will see you next week, but just try to walk in love.
Mm.
Bye. Now I got to boot it down, and I don't know how to do that either right now. Okay, end stream. There we go. Bye.